Hi everyone. How are you guys? I'm here today. Actually, I have a challenging day, so I am doing a video somewhat including you on my day, but also on the challenges of some of the things that we deal with on a daily basis. I had some questions regarding showering and if I ever use a wheelchair and some about sex. And so I just thought that today I would, since today was going to be a day of challenges, which I will explain to you in a second, I just thought that in between my day I would cover a few of these different topics. So today specifically, I am going to be working at the store today. And normally I would have help getting there, but my daughter is away at a convention, and I don't mean I need help getting there as in driving or whatever. When we go to the store, there's usually packages to pick up for merchandise, and there's also a lot of stuff just to carry to get ready to spend the weekend, working a store. My challenge today is going to be carrying all that stuff and getting the boxes and everything. Not so much once I get to the store, because then there'll be an employee there that will also help me, but just in the process of getting to the store. So right now I just got done showering, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. I'm about to do another one of my daily challenges that wasn't asked by anybody, but I figured I'd share it with you, and that is making the bed. So I'm going to go ahead and do that before I head downstairs and get ready to head out the door. So if you want to watch, here we go. So welcome to Bed Making When You Can't Breathe 101. Done. And that's pretty much all it takes to get out of breath. So now I'm just making sure that I have everything I need before I head downstairs. Last thing I want to do is climb the stairs again for something I forgot. So heading down, gonna have some breakfast, and then get ready to head out. So I'm down here in the kitchen, and I just packed up some pizza, and I got some brats in the crock pot that'll be ready when I get home. I'm loading the dishwasher, and getting ready to throw a piece of toast in for breakfast. but now that I am thoroughly out of breath. First stop on my list on the way to the store is to head to Subway, so that I have something to eat there later. I did pack up some pizza, but it is going to be a long day there, and I want a couple of different options. They may not be the healthiest, but it's better than not eating at all. So, to Subway, and then the next stop is the UPS store, probably to get out of breath again, with the packages. So, onward we go. And yeah, as for the everyday challenges, it still never ceases to amaze me how a task as simple as making the bed can get me out of breath, but it does. I still always try to persevere and continue to do it every day, or at least on the days that I normally would make it. In all fairness, my husband makes them some days on the days he's off, and then I do it all the other days, but I try not to ever skip a day, just getting lazy or giving in to the fact that it's a difficult task for me. And I feel that's important just because if I start giving into little things here and there, then I feel like I would eventually just not be doing much of anything, because everything can be hard. So yeah, that's pretty much my theory on that. So bed making is one of the tougher, more difficult tasks that I face on a daily basis. I'm gonna run in here to Subway real quick, and as soon as I get back, then we'll talk a little bit about showering and that. Okay, I'm back with my Subway, and there's a long line, of course. I'm probably gonna be late to meet the employee. But hopefully maybe not. I always keep my car clock set 10 minutes in advance because I am a slow mover. So hopefully that will save me today. Now, to get to the UPS store. And I have to say that I hate feeling rushed, because rushed makes me out of breath. So, now as far as showering, I had a question. Somebody asked, what do I do about showering? When I first came out of the hospital, I thought the shower was gonna kill me. Oh my God. Just to make it through a shower would take me like 20 minutes, just because something that used to take me like 8 to 10 minutes, now it took me like 20 minutes, just because I had to stop and rest so often. And after like 3 days of it out of the hospital, I called my nurse and asked her, how am I supposed to do this? And she asked me a very simple question, and that is, are you wearing your oxygen? And I said, in the shower? And she said, yes. And I said, no. And she said, well, you should probably start doing that, because showering is one of the most strenuous activities that we do on a daily basis. Not just physically, but the physiology of it all has certain effects on the body. Just certain things that happen when the water hits your body physiologically and that adds to the shortness of breath and the physicalness of the whole activity. Not to mention that your arms are in the air, while you're trying to wash your hair. There's a lot of bending and, scrubbing and such. So, all that activity makes it so that it's a strenuous activity for anybody, and then you add the lung issues in, and it makes it next to impossible. So it's definitely an activity that you want to do with your oxygen on, and generally I treat it now like an exercising activity. So when I exercise, I turn up my oxygen to a higher level than I normally have it at, and that's what I do for the shower as well. And ever since my nurse told me this, and I have turned up the oxygen and kept it on in the shower, I am now back to speed. I can finish the shower in 8 to 10 minutes, and I do it standing up just like I always have. And the only real difference now is that I leave the shower door cracked open to let more of the humidity out. And I will say that if we ever build another shower or renovate or move to a different place where we put in a shower, I will do an open air shower. So in other words, a shower without a door. It's a huge difference, and I find this when we travel. A lot of the hotel rooms that we stay in have open air showers where there is no shower door. And the more open it is, the easier it is to breathe, the less trapped humidity, and all that does affect how well we breathe in the shower and how easy or difficult it is. So yeah, that's something that I will always keep in consideration for my future. And in any case, right now, since I do have sliding shower glass doors, I just leave it open about 5 inches, and that lets a lot of the humidity and steam escape, which makes a huge difference for breathing. The other thing that I will say is exercising at a higher level than your daily activity makes your daily activity easier. So if you only exercise to the point where you walk at the same speed, like on a treadmill, that you walk in real life, then if you never push past that, then real life walking will never really get any easier, or your other exercises, daily routine things will never get any easier because you're not exercising past that point. So that is something to definitely consider. And even if you can only push yourself for a little while, 2 to 5 minutes to begin with, that's exactly how I started. And now I go, at least 45 minutes on some days of the week, and a half an hour on most days. And on my days where I do other things too, I either am doing something that's a lot of walking, or like today where I have other activities and I just don't have time to spend a half an hour, I go down and hit the treadmill, which I did before I left, for even just 15 minutes of a fast-paced walking, so that I keep up with my routine. And then somebody else asked about sex and is that a problem? And I would say for me it hasn't been, but I don't swing from pools or anything either. So I would think that actually it would be more difficult if a man had lung issues than for a female, because I think in general men do more of the heavy lifting when it comes to that. So yeah, for me it really hasn't changed our sex life that much, other than the fact that I do wear oxygen. So and also my hubby is great. I feel definitely safe with him, and I know that if I need to stop for a minute and catch my breath, that's okay. So yeah, we still have as much fun as we always did, and I don't feel like it's really changed things that much in the bedroom for us. So but like I said, I was never really swinging from poles anyway, so it's not like I had to change what I was doing that much. You know, it's I don't know, you know, so as far as that goes, it hasn't really been an issue for me. But like I said, I do feel like if it was my husband that had the lung disease, it might be a little bit tougher for him, just because I do think that men do more of the heavy lifting when it comes to that. So at this point, I am thankful I'm a female. Let's see. Another question was, do I ever use a wheelchair? And this has to be your own personal preference. You have to do what you think is best for you. I do not. I feel like, just personality-wise and everything, I'm the type of person to push on. And I feel like if I give in to the wheelchair, like sometimes, then I'll give into it more often, and then before you know it, I'll just be sitting. And I am gonna be 50 in the next couple of years, but I feel like I still have a long way to go in life and a lot of life left to live, and I don't want to live it sitting down. So now is definitely not the time for me to give into using a wheelchair. That's why I feel like it's so incredibly important for me to keep exercising and staying as active as I possibly can, because what you don't use, you lose. And so when we go to Disney, I walk that whole thing. I don't use a wheelchair, I don't use a mobile scooter, I foot it the whole way. Same with the airports. I will actually have risked missing a flight versus getting a wheelchair, but that's my stubbornness. In Atlanta, the ATL airport is the largest, busiest airport, and we often have flight changes there, and we have to make it from one gate to another, and they're always at opposite ends and with very little time. And I still do the mad dash for that. Now granted, at the end of it, my husband has to run ahead and let them know at the gate that we're here, we're on our way, and I'm just moving a little bit slower. But I still do foot it the whole way. I guess maybe if I absolutely had to, I might, but yeah, at this point, I'm just not ready for that yet. It would be extremely difficult, I think, for me to give in and sit down and just be wheeled around. I want to live life as an active participant, and I'm going to do that as long as I can. Even with my 20% lung function, I'm going to keep doing that as long as I can. So, and what I have to hope and believe is that, you know, there's a lot of new stuff coming out, and I'm not really a fan of a lung transplant, at least for myself, and I'm going to talk about that some more in another video on why. But I think that there's a lot of new up and coming technology and things on the horizon for medicine, and specifically in the lung area, that every year that I can stay strong and stay out of the hospital and keep moving and keep doing what I do is another year, a chance that they're going to come up with something that is going to make life easier. So that is my hope. So yes, I keep making the bed, I keep showering, I keep doing dishes. I do as much as I can. Now, we do have a cleaning person that comes in and does like a lot of our floor mopping, cleaning the bathrooms and stuff like that. But in all honesty, we had that done before I even knew about my lung disease. So it wasn't something that we changed because of it. So, okay, well, here we are at the UPS store, and I'm gonna go in, try to get my packages, and probably get out of breath again. Okay, so I have survived the UPS store. I carried 2 of the light boxes, and the guy brought out the heavy one for me, so that was helpful. I'm still out of breath though, and I will survive. Onward to the store. Now, I'm gonna go there, and from there, the employee will handle the rest of the carrying. I just need to get myself and my few personal items into the store, which that alone is gonna be challenging, just because now I have been in and out on a treadmill, made the bed, showered, and everything else, so you know how it goes. But in any case, yeah, I just try to keep everything as normal as possible, and it actually feels good at the end of the day to know that I am still able to do all the stuff. Most of the things that I've always done, I am still able to do, and like I said, I am gonna come back and talk some more on a different day about how I feel about lung transplant as far as it goes for myself. And in any case, right now, I hope that I have answered all of your questions about showering and you know, whether I use a wheelchair and sex and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I hope you guys just find your own way to do everything in the best way that it works for you, because obviously there's more than one way to do everything, and you know, it's sometimes sitting down in the shower will help some. You know, just there's all different kinds of ways, so you just have to find the way that's right for you. I've always been a stubborn soul, and so my not giving in is just the way that works for me. I'm not saying it's for everyone. You know, you have to find your own way of doing things, but I certainly don't mind sharing and letting you know the way I do things. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and yeah, just enjoy yourself and be grateful for all you have. Have a good one, you guys.